Hey, nice to meet you, Pooch. Thanks for joining
You
me.
too, pal. Come on, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course, yeah, congratulations on Murder Company. I thought it was great, and I
Yes.
love your character Coolidge.
Yeah, thank you, brother. I
Um,
love Coolidge too.
yeah, you looked cool playing Coolidge.
Right on, man. Right on.
Well, yeah, I was going to ask, what was it like? I understand this was shot overseas in Europe, Bulgaria. So what was it like shooting over there and, the rehearsals for this kind of
Oh
movie?
man, that's a great question, Will. First of all, huge shout out to the men and women in the military who are fighting for our freedom. Because as cliche as it sounds, war is hell. And I don't envy those soldiers who are putting their lives on the line. I have a lot of friends in the military. One of my best friends is Army Special Forces enlisted, Chris Milberg. He puts his butt on the line, and I was actually talking to him about certain stuff, and we didn't have a we didn't have an American military consultant, but we did have military consultants. And when you're going over to another country to fight, it's scary. And even though we're shooting a film, it's still a little scary because you don't know what to expect, and what's the weather like? What's the bugs like? What's the animals like? I mean, sure, we're gonna be safe because it's a movie, but for me, when I get into it, I go all in, and it's kind of like that method approach to where, I mean, I can't, I'm not like in a studio in Paramount or Sony or something, or Warner Brothers pretending to be in, like, France or Afghanistan. I'm in Bulgaria. I'm in a real foreign country that feels not like America. And so I think when I felt, just the difference in energy, and you're hearing all the language, no English, you feel like you're in the military and you're really in it. So I just wanted to make sure I honored those soldiers by um, bringing as much authenticity to my character and to the film. But it definitely is scary because you don't know what to expect, and the language barrier was a huge obstacle for us.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. Yeah, well, you pulled it off, yeah, and your
Thank you.
character is very likable, and yeah, it was great. And I understand, of course, we just had the 80th anniversary of D-Day, and I was curious,
Mm.
um, I was curious if you learned anything in the process of making Murder Company that maybe, I don't know, made you look at D-Day or just World War II in general differently.
Oh, man, first of all, for the people who are unfamiliar with World War II, blacks weren't really allowed to fight until we finally got an opportunity to fight. So in the beginning, you know, blacks in that military were doing like cooking, working on cars, just like labor stuff, and they weren't allowed to fight. And then finally, they got an opportunity because soldiers were getting slaughtered. So it's like, why be in the military if you can't fight for this country? Because all of a sudden, it's not black and white. We're one.
Right.
It's one color. It's one color, and that's red, white, and blue. That's three, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And fighting for the country, I think that you put those differences aside and you come together. And I really, first of all, I wish we could all just get along, and there won't be any wars, because war is devastating, and there is no winner in it. And so what I learned was to go into it with an open mind, and the um to do my part as a soldier, and to get my brothers back. Then it doesn't matter the color of the skin. We wore the same uniform, and so us coming together was was amazing for me because I like the fact that I get to tell that part of the story, where I wasn't even supposed to be there, but getting there, being there, I'm there now, so I got to do my part. And as far as D-Day, what those soldiers went through, and to still be able to overcome, like, that's a major part in our history, man. And shout out to all the soldiers who put their butts on the line for us too, who lost their lives, and all the family members who still support that. Like my dad, I'm a military kid. My father was in the army. He just recently passed. So for those parents and siblings or whomever um, are in the military, that they're a special breed. Because I mean, I'm not in the military. Like I chose to act. I can do it. And when they say cut, I can go back to my trailer, go home. These guys are still out there waiting for the powers that be to come up with some type of agreement or understanding to where we can like lay down our arms. But um, you know, it happens. Not everyone can agree and get along. So therefore war happens, and then you have to do what you have to do.
Of course. Yeah, well said. I also wanted to ask, yeah, so yeah, I can't wait for everyone else to see Murder Company. So yeah, it's a very
Thank you.
powerful movie. Uh, and looking ahead, I also wanted to ask, I know you're starring in that show, The Family Business New Orleans, which is a wonderful cast
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Yes.
I
Yes.
was, I was curious, if there's anything you can share about the show. I'd love to hear more. I was reading about it. It looks great.
Yeah, huge shout out to Carl Weber, the creator of the show. And it's so funny, this just the irony and of family, you know, family business is a story about a family that has to come together to do what they have to do to achieve whatever the mission is, because there's powers that be that are either trying to destroy you or stop you from achieving your goal. And going back to Murder Company, like the parallel is like you have this family of brothers who are trying to help, not even an American, help this individual achieve what he has to do, and while you know trying to survive from and keep from getting destroyed. So like I play a different character in Family Business. I play um more of the uh what did Marcellus Wallace from Pulp Fiction say? Some hardcore pipe hitting.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I think that's my character in Family Business.
Oh, there you go.
I do a little bit of the knocking out, cleaning up type of guy. And with Murder Company, I my character, we get to see a little vulnerability where at one point in time the fighters, black soldiers, wanted to fight and weren't allowed to. And when you say that, and then when you get the green light, that fear sets in because you don't know what to expect. But I think once the first time we go into it and come out like I made it, then you can get out that anxiety and say, all right, I'm here for a purpose, and I'm going to do everything in my power to help this individual in this country, and to kill some evil people while we're at it. Because no matter how you look at it, the Nazis were evil, and they did some horrendous things. And so, there's a lot of World War II movies, or a lot of, you know, war films, but, some of the atrocities that some of the Nazis have done to innocent people is just unforgivable at a certain point. And I think with us going against the Nazis, we're telling a story within the grand scope of what World War II is, and it's good versus evil. And so, when with Family Business, we consider ourselves a good family. and the people who are trying to take us down are evil. So we do what we have to do to get the win and to, you know, make sure that we have a stake, in this claim, and we're putting our flag down per se. So I'm really happy to be a part of family business, New Orleans. We're the New Orleans one,
Nice.
um, and then Murder Company. And I got to say this, Will, between both projects, I got to work with friends. Like I can't say enough about Shane, our director.
But
He and I have known each other for a while. Played a lot of hoops together, hung out off the set, or even before we did our first film, we used to hang out. He's got a beautiful family, and he's a director that I can't wait for people to see more of. I'd love to see Shane in the Marvel world.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Kevin Feige, look up my man Shane Dax. Uh, so I'm just very fortunate and grateful to be working Will, because after the writer's strike, it got a little weird.
Oh yeah.
I mean, during the writer's strike and even after, it's like, I'm grateful to be working and working with an amazing cast on Murder Company.
Awesome. Yeah. And pre-writer strike, of course, another wonderful character of yours was Daryl in the Ray Donovan universe.
Yeah, yeah, man.
I
Yeah,
was just
man.
I was just gonna ask lastly before we go. I mean, I know you're in the movie as well. I was curious if you saw a future with Daryl or, the series going forward, potential spin-offs or anything like that.
Um, oh my God, I wish. I mean, I know Guy Ritchie is doing the European reboot of Ray Donovan. I'm very close to John Voight, Mickey Donovan. He and I are talking about a project right now that I created, and working with Dominique Wilkins. So we're moving that forward. Got I got an offer on the series, but the bottom line is Daryl put me on the map in a big way. I became super close with John Voight. Did a film with Leah Shriver called Chuck, where I played Muhammad Ali.
Oh yeah.
Um, and work begets work, Will. So, as an actor who's, still up and coming, you do what you have to do to keep showcasing your work. And I'm just grateful to be working. And I've worked with a lot of major hitters. I don't know if there's anything with Daryl or Ray. The closest thing I can honestly say to that is I plan on working with John Voight on my project, but it's not going to be Mickey. It's not going to be Daryl. But just that chemistry that he and I had, and that electricity, and you know, I can't even tell you how many times people have told he and I, like, "Oh my God, I wish you and Daryl would have a spinoff," or
Yeah.
I could just watch you and Daryl just go do some hijinks of
Yeah, yeah.
Batman and Robin, or hey Pop, this isn't gonna work. Yeah, it is, kid. Just trust me, And then the whole thing blow up in our face, and then we gotta call Ray to clean it up. So we had our fun, um, and I wish that he and our characters got a little bit of closure. Um, did you see the movie of Ray?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I wish that we got Mickey and Daryl got a little more closure.
Yeah.
Because the last time, you know, I saw my dad was I had a gun in his face, and just some, stuff that was left, you know, like, hey, so whatever happened to that? What happened? So, but hey, I didn't create it. Shout out to Ann Bitterman and Showtime for giving us the opportunity. But like you, I feel there's some more story to be told. We'll see what Guy Ritchie does. And in the meantime, I'm still looking forward and trying to just create and then be a part of amazing projects like Murder Company.
Of course, yeah, I can't, like I said, I can't wait for everyone else to see it. So
Thanks,
congratulations
pal.
again. It was wonderful chatting with you, and I hope we can do this on the next one.
Oh, for sure. Oh, and one more thing, Will. So Kelsey Grammer was my boss. I just want to throw this out at people if they didn't know it. So Kelsey Grammer was my executive producer on the TV show The Game,
Oh
which
yeah.
was on the CW, and then we went to VT. So Gramnet. So Kelsey was my first boss, and so it's really cool to come full circle to work with him again and be on set with him. So it was really cool.
Well, yeah, of course. That's amazing. Yeah, and I hope you
Yeah.
guys can work together again, for future projects. That would be wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, hey man, the way Murder Company went, I mean, I hope we're able to do a sequel and just be this like little badass, company of guys who just get the job done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, yeah. So yeah, congratulations again, and nice to meet you, and thanks again.
Right on, Will. You be well, my brother. Thanks for
All right.
having me.
Thanks.
Oh, and if people can follow me at Instagram, I am Pooch Hall and I am underscore Pooch Hall. Twitter, official Pooch Hall on Facebook. Plug.
All right, there you go. Got it.
Thanks, pal.
All right, thanks. See ya.
Later, bro.